Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. This will be a call meeting, a special meeting to be held Monday, June 10th, at 4 p.m. in the boardroom of St. Joseph's Infirmary.
Anyway, the other
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. That one off, you know, the meeting of the night. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. This will be a meeting with the executive board, a call meeting, June 10th, 4 o'clock, St. Joseph's Infirmary.
The meeting will please come to order. We'll have a roll call by the secretary. Mrs. Armstrong, Mrs. English, Mrs. Law, Miss Overton, Sister Kristen here, Sister Louis Mary, Mrs. Jacqueline Graves, Mrs. Anita Stanley, Mrs. Gamage, Mary Gamage, Mrs. Gladys Garland, present, Mrs. Nellie K. Hopper, Miss Cynthia Mallory, Mrs. Marilyn Rosecrans, here, Mrs. Frances Bussey, Mrs. Elizabeth F. Langford, Mrs. Doris D. Hanson, and Mrs. Sarah P. Stedman, here, Mrs. Honeycutt Ex-Officio, Mrs. Lewis, and Miss Atkins. And Miss Pope is here representing as chairman of the Bylaws Committee. We do have a quorum, and we will proceed with the business. On the notice that you received, it listed several things that we need to take up this afternoon, and I think because the bylaws has to be taken care of this afternoon regardless of time, that perhaps we would ask Ms. Pope if she will present the report, please. I guess probably I should give you the background before we actually move to the bylaws. The Bylaws Committee had a hard time getting together, but you're aware that the printing of the GSNA bylaws were not completed until, they still aren't completed, but enough for us to really have them as references were not ready until around March 1. We've set up some meetings, and we've had, it seems that everybody's been meeting all of the spring, giving us a rather limiting us with meeting times and getting committee together. The committee has met on 3 occasions, and the committee has worked independently and cooperatively on reviewing sections in the background to bring to the overall committee meetings. For they're doing this work for expediency and review and doing background work. The committee has been very attentive and very the committee members, and have worked very diligently to bring us to where we are. Our approach in the beginning was to, we knew that we had our present bylaws, and we knew that we had some things that had come from membership during the years that had been stated out of Bylaws Committee that well, we were requested not to make any bylaw changes until ANA structural changes. So as a result, we really didn't even have a up-to-date one set of bylaws. For instance, last well, in the GSNA convention of '66, we did have a change in dues, and these had never really been incorporated. They'd merely been submitted as a supplement or a change, as a approved change to be added. So we had this, of course, the change in the dues to fit in with our old bylaws. We had a recommendation that besides the treasurer, the president or another officer be authorized to sign checks for the 5th District Georgia State Nurses Association. And then we had another recommendation, and I don't have my finger on but I'll quote it, that the voting polls be open from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for voting at each annual meeting for new officers. And then we had a recommendation that had, or proposal that had cleared the board and referred that we make the business sections and the program meetings at different meetings to separate program from business. This was originally came out of the program committee's recommendation to the board and was forwarded for consideration. The reason being, let me give you, I think these others are self-explanatory. The reason for this being that we really did have conflict in our meetings. May meeting falls in Nurse Week. The November meeting frequently was conflicting with the GSNA. So it was this that prompted the program committee to bring this. We had other, Carolyn searched out the old bylaws, and we had other comments that the official publication committee be deleted and that consideration be given to special committees, careers, insurance, economic security, nursing and national defense, and committee on professional practice, and that we should clearly define who makes the budget for as relates to the registry. This was apparently in conflict, and the Bylaws Committee had been asked to review it. So these were the things that, and excuse me, one other area was that there was some conflict in the duties of the executive board and the duties of the president that we needed to look at. So it was these things that we knew that consideration, we needed to try to give consideration in the updating. We also knew that out of A&A's change in structure that had come down to us from the chairman of the State Committee on Bylaws, Myrtle Tumlin, had sent to us some uniform requirements that the district has no choice in setting up its bylaws. And actually, I suppose unless there are any questions today as to our background, we might actually start moving to this, if this is appropriate for us. Are there any questions about our plan of work, or well, hearing none, then we will sort of, I guess maybe the first 5 pages, excuse me, the first 6 pages, the first 6 pages really are conformity. The format is, and the explanatory note is identified for us, both on the they're in keeping with ANA and GSNA. Now, I think, is it appropriate we just move through this and bring out the changes, or should we read them, or 43 pages?
If there's no expression from the group, I would like to suggest that we point out the changes.
If I am fortunate to have 2 committee members here, plus the parliamentarian and Carolyn, and both our president were at 2 of our meetings, which we're very grateful. So you'll help me not overlook any of the. In the first, the Article 2 on page 1, the definite clarification of purpose and functions in our area of functions of the new proposed amendments, section 2, item K and L have been added. Now the remainder of them are conformity. All of the other items are conformity, and really take up and include all of the present, we've said the object of this association in our present bylaws, all of the items listed in our present are included with exception of K and L, which we have added.
Before you send this to, we're going to put an S there in section 2 says the function. May as well put an S there so it'll be the, because you have more than one function, you're listing the number.
Yes.
She'll tell you to put an S on that.
Question about L in section 2 of Article 2. I thought I understood it that at your last meeting you voted to discontinue the operation of a registry. Did I?
Yes, I should have spoke to that already. We have explanations in discussing this as a group and with our parliamentarian. We had hoped to set this up that if it is deleted, if this pursues, that, and you see that we've made it the last, and then explanation proviso that the registry is continued. See, we haven't really, and I should say this, I don't think we've deleted anything as a committee that has not come to the committee, and it had not come to the committee. However, our president and our executive secretary, so we added it as the last with the proviso.
In that K to survey, is that supposed to be nursing resources, or is that proper, the nurses' resources?
It's nursing. Yes,
Nursing?
Nursing. It's just an editorial.
Yeah. I would say too that all of us will need to maybe read these. Several people have. You know, you go over them each time.
That too, typographic.
Yes. And we'll try to do a little bit more proofing, and if you all will with us in calling attention, we appreciate it.
May I ask one other question?
Mm-hmm.
Would J in any way limit the association from participating with other groups in relation to recruitment? It seems to me there's an organization called Medical Careers. This wouldn't limit your participating in that, would it? In other words, this doesn't mean that the association would have to do it on its own. or a loan?
No, I think, somewhere, here on number D might cover to represent nurses and serve as their spokesman with allied professional, community, and governmental groups and with the public.
And I think this is from A&E, and they're putting that in to make each association get in with
Conscious
these.
of this and
Uh-huh.
conscious of their responsibility.
That is one of their functions.
And before we leave functions, we have tried to go back and see that we have assigned either to committee or section or an officer the responsibility of all of the functions. So this is, it was an approach also. Any further questions on the purpose and function? Actually, on members and associates, you all will recall from GSNA convention that we had some discrepancy in the area of who may belong to A&A. And I think our requirement was that you had to be registered in Georgia. It is no longer, and we must conform that you be registered nurse in any state of the U.S. And I believe this is the only change here. Then moving on over to page 5. We had conferred life membership in the past to non-members and people who are not eligible to become members. So we've delineated in this presentation our proposal that life membership be conferred to registered nurses who may officially be members, and then separated and had honorary recognition for the non-nurse friends, or and I think that I pointed that out on page 4 for present section E has been covered as section 7, and then here's the honorary membership, section D on page 3. Honorary membership, we've changed that to honorary recognition.
Oh, I see what you mean. You've changed that D of the original to section 8.
And section 7 is old section E. But other than that, there's no I don't recall of anything else I need to call to your attention. And then on page 6, our old Article 5 was officers and committee on nominations. We deleted that as an article, and these aspects are covered in a new Article 6. And we brought Article 7 of old bylaws to new Article 5, and dealt with dues. And the dues are appropriate now. I'm missing page 7 out of my copy. Let me see your one here. No, so, yes. Now, at the end of page 7, and we may have to call on Miss Lewis to help us a little bit here through the first, page 7, Article 5, the last item of item D, through the first full calendar year following graduation and license to practice, the dues for a member shall be 1/2 the annual dues membership in effect for membership. And this came out of the our just passed A&A convention, that this be changed to read. No, it's not that page, excuse me. Where do we have our new calendar year brought out?
Here on the side, it says membership under section 2, this remainder of that year next full calendar.
Yes. And then we have it brought out again, but I guess it's not at that area. But the A&A is moving toward the, yes. Can I refer you back to page 4? I'm sorry. Section 5. Every member and associate in the 5th District Nurses Association is a member or associate, respectively, of the Georgia State Nurses Association, American Nurses Association, period. Every member has representation in the International Council of Nursing through the American Nurses Association. Well, it's not that, it's changed. I've got my remarks off here.
Since some state nurses associations provide for a flexible or variable membership year, the phrase membership year is used rather than calendar year. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
It's right there on the side.
But it's
Yes.
not used in that
Yes,
section.
but let me refer to my work copies here a minute. We have, at A&A convention this year, they voted that, did we not have through the first full, somewhere in this, the first full membership year in our bylaws, maybe it's in, oh, you all don't have that. Yes, you do.
Ms. Pope, I believe that in the uniform requirements, it did have calendar year, and this year at your convention in Dallas, they were said to change it to membership year because under central billing, won't they have a flexible
Yes.
membership year?
Yes, and that's how we added that.
That
That's
covers
correct.
what was already being done.
Thank you. That's right. We changed this to, membership year and explanation because A&A. That's correct.
But now you have it proposed as calendar year, so we're gonna have to take that, make that membership if you intend to use this, that's come from this convention.
Well, does this intend to say what it sounds like? That the new graduate then would be, depending upon when she was graduated, she would be eligible for membership the rest of that year, and then the next full calendar year as you've got it set up, but maybe that's not what you want to say. That means it could be as much as, for ours, a year and a half or more.
Previously,
On
it'd
half.
been even
on
more
half.
than that. If they
Yes.
came in January, they'd have,
I think this
Is
is
this
still
a-
what
is
we
this
meant
a-
to say.
Is this in conform, is this required by A&A?
A&A, the uniform requirements right now is just that she has it printed under the proposed amendments. But now in Dallas is where this membership year came out.
Well, would this change the concept then here?
I think the thing about it is under central billing, if you join in May, your membership year is gonna go from May to May, you see, that way where A&A is concerned. Where before, you were paying just part of that year, where the year started in January, you see. But a membership year, if you come in May and pay your dues, then your dues would be,
From May to
that's
May.
flexible, membership year. But now, this is the thing that isn't set up completely.
Georgia still runs on the calendar year
Calendar
until
year.
the state changes, then we would not be allowed to change, would we?
Well, the state all changed at the same time.
Well, I think probably, she'll have to bring that out, because
She
if
make
they
a
brought out
provision
in.
that they do that, I believe we'd get more
Well,
members on the flexible year, but as it stands, we on calendar.
Here again, I think this could be with a proviso, if the state goes on the flexible membership year, then the district would be on the flexible membership year.
We were trying to change that to get it, so that even though, see, we already learned about this at A&A, and we wanted to get it so that state wouldn't bring it back to us as a change, and I think what has actually happened is that the remarks is off the wrong column here. Yes, this is where we still left it on section D, and I have the proposed amendments to A&A, and this did carry at A&A. A&A reads, through the first full membership year following graduation and license to practice, the dues for a member shall be 1/2 the annual dues currently in effect for membership. So this is an error. The word calendar should read membership.
Membership.
It's on page
So-
7.
On page 7.
It'll be
Some of my
1/2.
remarks are appropriate, but we still left the same word in.
The rest would be the same, except
Yes.
that one word, is that
That's
right?
correct,
Well, then, this, over here in the, under the remarks would be, you have to change that, wouldn't you?
Calendar.
Yes. Let me,
This calendar
year's membership year, indeed.
yes, we didn't get the new remarks in either. Let me give you those. This provision would guarantee a full year of membership privileges for 1/2 the annual dues, while providing for a state nurses association with a flexible membership year. The term membership year will be submitted for calendar year wherever it appears in the bylaw relative to the membership year.
Well, so this wouldn't necessarily mean then that a new graduate would have, say, like, a year and a half, as she now does.
That whole thing got out of line when they first proposed that thing. They didn't intend for it to be almost 2 years, and somebody interpreted it that way and made it that way. And I think
The
they
membership
realized.
year would take care of it.
I
and
think
make
they've
it-
realized that.
Make it reasonable, it
Yes.
seems to me.
So, with you all's permission, what we need to do, is to change this to read what I've just read in keeping with A&A.
You see, they don't even state the 6 months in there, and they gave us an interpretation on that following her registration, obtaining her license, than if she did it within 6 months. So I think that will do away with that and take care of it, not put the time limit on it. It'll make it much easier.
This will take, this goes.
Because we had to check the state board on every one of them to see when they stood. And that's what I was referring to, sister, about that, because there's been some contradiction there.
May we substitute
I think we did
this
that.
then? Well, we did, but we didn't get it changed.
Well, I knew.
The committee did this,
Yes.
but we didn't get the appropriate, we didn't get all our papers together, apparently.
I heard you say you worked your secretary overtime, maybe she's too blurry-eyed to see that.
No, she had only what I gave her. I have to be honest. Now, there's one other word,
That was on page, look on page 5, they talk about professional.
code, yes. There was one other. Yes. I hate to keep skipping you around, but I'm sorry, I'm just not too organized with it. Under the disciplinary action and rights of the members in Associate Section 1, at the A&A Convention, the new code that was adopted was for code for nurses. And the word professional was dropped from the new code, so we were trying to, again, try to save another revision or amendment to catch that. You see, when these get to state, they're going to maybe be up to date. Are there any questions then? That concludes those things that must meet conformity.
There was no change in dues at the A&A.
No. Changing the new salary bill.
That's good. Sure helps, doesn't it? It should, ultimately.
Now, I hope these are not going to be too confusing the way we've set them up, but we really then followed GSNA's agenda or table of content in setting these up, and I think it would be fair to say we borrowed from them quite a few. NANA, yes, bylaws, and we stole quite a few of their better wording, hopefully. So, on our present nomination and election of officers, we deleted it as it was and made a separate section referred to as nomination and as elections. Then we moved up to our duties of officers. We were set up for duties of officers, and I've forgotten what else. I guess maybe that was all our old ones. Yes, duties of officers, and included. You will recall that we referred to the officers in another section. I believe it was section 5. Officers in Committee on Nomination. What we did, we deleted that, and with old section 5 and new section 7, combined them. So start off from scratch to give us a new article to read officers and duties of officers. We put our Committee on Nominations under nominations. And then we listed the officers, and on section 2, do I have correct, Mrs. Lewis, adopted was that parliamentary or parliamentarian authority? I'm not, I may have an error there.
Parliamentary authority.
That's right.
What page are you on?
9.
This was changed, merely to, well, it was merely added to provide clarification, right?
And so you wouldn't have to spell out the little things that they're supposed to know that's in the adopted authority, so you wouldn't have to have so many pages.
All right, thank you.
There's some things it's just, you're supposed to look in here if you take a job, don't know what you're supposed to do.
Now, really, section 3, the president shall, and you all are probably picking up like I am, like we underlined the other sections we had in 3. We really got to give a little bit more editing to this before we give it to the bylaws committee at state. I apologize, we don't have it for you. Actually, the only changes in this is that our new C, we did include that the proposal that we register signature at the bank and shall be authorized to sign checks in emergency.
That would be the president.
Yes.
Did you say it was all right for the president to do it, Miss Lewis? I forget what we talked about. Did we say how good? I was thinking we said you couldn't. I couldn't understand why, but I thought that's what you
No,
were saying.
no, I
Oh,
said,
good. Ooh, I'm glad to get that.
I knew you would.
And I think other than maybe just rewording that there were no changes in the actual assignment of functions or duties. Then we move to, are there any questions before we move over to the vice president?
I don't quite understand when you say, when you make changes. You say, change word B to read is, and I can't find that in B or section 2.
Yes, co-sign with the secretary all vouchers ordered by the board before payment is made.
Oh,
Thank
you.
We attempted, and of course, we'll probably end up with bylaws that'll have the same little thing, I hope not, like the past ones have. But we moved to the,
You think we should see that make me I, this C that's in those goes down to I in the new ones.
we sort of grouped, in other words, those functions that related to the signing contracts and checks, we put those together. And then that gave us a little bit of, but really as far as once this come out, as far as the duties are concerned, there's no basic change.
We did take out that annual address.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Live an address at the annual meeting.
But it says on E, make new to read D. Did you?
Yeah, we
Well, make new to read D. Now, D is co-signed with the secretary, all contracts authorized by the Association of the Board of Directors. That's gonna be your D.
Oh, in other words, E will become D.
Yes. The old D is deleted.
I see.
Deliver name,
Okay.
an address.
Okay.
Am I taking you too fast? Ms. Garland is not fast enough to get through these before. And then, the first vice president shall, the only change here, we added her the duty of serving as the chairman of Committee on Membership Promotion. And that was also sort of stolen from GSNA. And other than rewording, and we did change the new, they refer to the membership committee as the Committee on Membership Promotion rather than credentials and membership. I think they corrected Committee on Credentials. And now, you'll see through here, and of course under our dues, those things that related to central billing have been removed, and hopefully the identification is spelled out. And we added a new for the secretary. We separated vouchers and referred to them as contracts authorized by the association. And other than that, there's no official changes for the secretary. Other than central billing changes, no changes for the treasurer. And then when we came down to the directors, page 13, I need to talk to the committee members here and bring out to you the changes here. Of course, the director shall promote the purpose and functions of the 5th District Nurses Association, and B, serve as chairman of one of the following. There are 6 directors, and we ended up assigning of the following, this committee should come in here, as determined by the board of directors. And we did it in our area on bylaw, legislation, ethical, legal, and professional standards. Provide for a director to share that. But now that only ties 3 directors to a specific function. And I should call to your attention that
That's not necessarily A&A, is it? I mean, that was...
No, this was, GSNA adopted. One of the criticisms of the officers and directors, well, officers of the GSNA, is that they don't have enough to do. They don't get called upon. We made one of them chair of the Bylaws committee and they'll never be said again.
Is this 5th District or state?
This is 5th District, and this
I never heard
we
anybody
chose
complaining, did y'all? No, seriously, I was thinking it's supposed, member of the board isn't qualified in these areas to be chairman. And if, because not everybody knows bylaws, legislation, and ethical legal.
I'm just proving anybody can do bylaws.
No, you've done a splendid job, I wouldn't say anybody.
That's a point well made, sister.
Well, you have, maybe this is
But the point is too, that these,
yeah.
one of the things that was brought out now, some of these, committee chairmen are important, and you need them here as a member of the board to give information on these particular committees. I know you can call them in, But if they have a, definite assignment, you see, then they're here and you know what's happening.
I can see the logic in it, but
Yes,
I can also
and-
see the same.
All right, but here
sisters
again is the committee on nominations
making
making these, and the people even sending their nominations to the committee is to say, well, now these people have to be, and then the board, see, it says, as determined by the board of directors, then it's up to the board for you all to decide which of these directors would be better on this committee, see?
Yes. We did discuss this at length, and getting a little ahead of ourselves, on page 15, the Committee on Nominations, they really, I think it's fair to say, charged them with more of a responsibility than any of our, or than our past bylaws, to give particular attention for selecting nominees for officers and chairman of the Committee on Nominations who are especially qualified to fulfill the responsibility of these positions as described in the bylaws. And then we have tied that the directors shall be, now of course, we didn't tie all 6 of the directors too, and maybe this is our leeway. I felt the need to share with you that this is a change.
Well, this is similar to what the league does. They give everybody on the board, or at least seems to me everybody on the board has a specific committee or responsibility to report for a committee or to represent the board as an ex officio member on the the more important committees. So that this is I can understand the reasoning behind it. It certainly is a logical one, but I think Sister has a point too.
I think it's real good, like Miss Lewis brought out, though, because lots of times we never see a person in legislation or bylaws. They're working real hard, and you come in today, but all year long, sometimes we don't see them. I think it's real. It would strengthen, I think, the organization if we keep in mind that we had put people on the board that really could function in these areas. And I was thinking particularly of legislation.
And
They'd be interested in it.
Continuity too.
Do we wish to do anything further or any more questions about that? Then that completed the duties, and those were the changes. Then we moved to nominations.
Ms. Cole, I thought about this, I told her this, we were talking about some of these things, didn't know whether to add some of these others. You remember saying something about economic security, that that's going to be one of the strong committees?
Well, we tied that in with sections, you remember? Specifically,
Section has
we
That's right.
So keep that in mind. If you
Yeah,
don't
I
tie it
knew
in
that.
heavily enough, the board should be aware of it because we surely talked about it.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. Then nominations, we started, and really you won't recognize this. It's in this area that we changed. And I really think you may should take a minute to read it, because we do move from, we really move into preparing a ticket for our next, for elections. So you might, we've put some dates in order to set allow for a written ballot, or a mail ballot.
annual visit.
Has everybody sort of had an opportunity to look over nominations? I think there are several changes here. I'd call your attention to Section 3, page 14 on nominations, Article 7, that the lists that come from the organized groups, and we made this as organized groups to include conference or sections, and we just call them this, have the responsibility to get biographical sketches from a biographical sketch of the nominees, including a philosophy or platform, with the consent to serve. This puts this on the organized section who is submitting a suggested nominee's name. And then the committee is charged with the responsibility of including what's formerly been included insofar as possible to give consideration towards selecting nominees for officers and chairman of the committee on nomination, chairman of the committee who are especially qualified to fill the responsibility of these positions as described in the bylaws. And insofar as practical, the ticket shall be structured so as to result in the election of members representative of the organized groups. In other words, here the intent is to give the membership a ballot that is well-rounded so that all organized sections can stand representation as officers. And then they are to prepare the ticket, and in the event they are unable to do so, the board is empowered to do it. And I believe that was a function of the board in the past. Then moving on into the elections, and let me qualify when the committee did this. This was in an answer to the request to have the voting place open all day. That really the intent of that was to give everybody an opportunity to vote. The committee felt that if the membership would support it, that the only way to ensure the right of every member to vote was to go to a mail ballot. So, we're on all the gamut.
And they're gonna cost you an awful lot of money.
Mail ballot,
Refer to the finance.
let's go, mail ballot, or by ballot, just go and vote.
No, mail ballot.
Would it be worth each little thing extra 50 cents? Could go in,
Well,
be cheaper than parking.
There's the point. She said it's cheaper than parking.
Saying
To
that
come vote.
To pay an extra 50 cents.
We thought about this for a number of reasons. We felt that this is something that that the membership probably would respond that this is worth our paying to support.
I agree
Right
with
to
you.
vote.
Mhm.
Yes. Then another aspect of it is that we believe, and Ms. Lewis did lend us some support under the Landrum-Griffin Act, that really A&A, probably it's just a matter of time when we'll have to say that every member, and that we've got to go through it, we
Vote
might as
by
well.
ballot, by mail ballot?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's better.
That we may as well, if we gotta do it, that we at least should,
Anticipate it and be
Yes.
prepared.
Didn't, Ms. Atkins, didn't you mention too that this would not cost any more than sending out the announcements of the meeting?
I don't think it would. I don't think it'd be very much more, because we have to send some type of announcements.
As far as the postage goes.
Do you send every member
Yes.
announcements?
It's $60 every member's, sent a call.
Notified of the meeting?
Yes, of meetings. We used to do it through the meter, and since we had to discontinue it, we have to send a card before each meeting. So I don't think it would be very much more expensive than that.
Well, it would just go out then with the announcement of the meeting. Well, then that probably wouldn't be then a much additional postage. It'd be some, but not much.
They
no,
also mentioned about the problem of manning those ballots too, you know, I mean, other people coming and someone taking care of it, keeping it open.
Well, I know it
before
was quite congested something at the last year when everybody was trying to vote. And if this would eliminate that, I'm sure this would be
If you
better.
had, ballot boxes in the different hospitals and all too, you see, I'm not saying you all would do it, but this is the point that you can. One reason for not doing that, you could vote here, and then maybe the person that is at the ballot box at Piedmont
Wouldn't
doesn't
know.
know you, so you can vote again. You see, so that's another reason that wouldn't work too well.
Well, it's real nice to vote by mail, be able to vote by mail, because you can think about it and you can mark your ballot and post it in time to get there.
Another thing, I think that it may help keep the president on board, yes, maybe. You can say, well, your president was elected by a vote of the membership and not just by those at the annual meeting.
Well, we have mail ballot now, don't we, in GSNA?
In GSNA, but I'm talking about keeping your president on GSNA board.
Oh, I see.
See, there's a point of that,
Oh.
that they aren't elected by the membership.
yes, this is a very, questionable thing right now. The board of GSNA did elect to keep the president, but there's some question about really the legality in that we cannot say the president of each district was elected by the GSNA membership,
I see.
this district. So, I would say that really the only change, the whole change of forming a ballot, but there's no change other than, how to get the mechanics of getting the ballots in and out here. And I think it's, and we really borrowed much of this from the GSNA because they have a ballot, mail ballot. The same thing as relates to, if a second ballot is sent, it's on receipt of a statement signed by the notary public.
On page 17 in section 3B, change annual billing to annual meeting.
If I'd been doing that, you'd accuse me of trying to get more money, wouldn't you?
What's that? Change what?
See, that's annual meeting.
Well, Carolyn had me so cost conscious, that's why I
On
did.
me.
What about these mail
It
ballots?
should be an annual
No
meeting.
laughing money,
Coordinate
matter, we
matter.
need money.
Annual meeting, yes. Thank you, Ms.
Mail ballot system.
Now, I have another question too, I see the blank.
I was wondering if.
Yes, I know we erased, we had the opening day of the annual meeting, And we have prior to the day of the annual meeting, so that's why the blank. We got that out.
She took some of that little white eradicator on a couple of little mistakes.
Then, Sister, I think the thing that you've missed is we've moved to the mail ballot to answer
I picked that up when I got back, and I picked up the idea that it's gonna be expensive, but you thought that'd be the best way to do it, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
All right,
and then,
thank you.
our old bylaw, let's see, we changed the, old Article 13 to Article 9. And, refer to it as the meetings. I think the old one showed it as meetings. I guess we've left that out. But, there's a change to, rather than say the annual meeting, decided upon by the board of directors rather than association. And then this is the other change. We would delete that regular meetings shall be held on the second Thursday in January, March, May, and November at the time and place decided upon by the association. We deleted that as it is and added this new section replacement that business meetings shall be held on the second Thursday in January and March at the time and place decided upon by the board of directors. That's not correct. Yes, it is. Excuse me. The annual meeting is covered in section 1. I thought we was leaving out the annual. And then section 3, we would add a new section 3 to read, program meetings shall be held in May and November, the date, time, and place decided upon by the program committee. This would leave the program chair or committee the opportunity to plan meeting in May and November around Nurse Week or during Nurse Week or however they would see fit. And this actually came to us from the committee, and it really separates the program and business meetings. And then we changed a bit. The special meeting may be called at any time by the board of directors or by the majority vote of the board or upon the written request of 30 members. The time and the place and the business to be transacted shall be stated in the call. We discussed this at some time, and it was the feeling of the committee that the membership should be entitled to have a call meeting, a special meeting, that they should call it of the board of directors, of the president through the board of directors, that the board of directors call the meeting for the membership rather than it being placed upon the president's shoulder. In other words, the membership doesn't demand of the president, you call the meeting. They request of the board to have a special meeting.
We changed that 15 to 30 because we thought it should at least be what a quorum was.
Yes, we made it uniform with the purpose of quorum. Are there any comments on that?
First is a quorum.
Yes, yes.
Would the board have to meet, call a meeting?
Pardon?
The board has to meet to call a meeting.
Yes.
Huh?
You think that's clear here, that the
Me?
board has to say that, that's clear? It sounds like anybody here can call, these two people. Board of directors, supervisor, the board. Or upon written request of 30 members, sounds like that stands alone, it doesn't have to go
I
to the
see what
board.
you're saying, Bishop.
Upon written request of 30 members to the board, or directed to the board,
Yes,
or?
we may need some clarification to the board or upon the written request of 30 members.
Well, could you say upon, receipt of written request?
30 members by the board.
Does the board have to call a meeting of membership if they get a request of 30 members?
The board's gonna have the final word.
But do they have a choice?
Special meeting,
Or you should know. If you're gonna make it.
Change it to provide. T, the board of, in the next paragraph, T, and mark out the board of directors shall and change
No,
to.
I'll take care of it.
And then the last one is you.
Just put down what you want.
We didn't,
Anything that won't.
we just agreed to move that
The
number
ball line,
to the
the
back.
water,
We
milk,
didn't,
anything.
I never thought the other word.
Q is, then appoint auditor of elections is R, and then this one is S.
S-T-U.
That's not, that's code 20.
You really have to know your alphabet.
S-T-U.
Work on bylaws.
Walk out my chocolate, it's milk.
Miss Hanson? Miss Hanson?
Deary,
It's just
you want
continuation.
anything
Oh, I
at all?
see. I see.
That's what it costs.
Nothing.
You
But he may be here long
before
time.
midnight.
Miss Atkins, you don't want it?
I put a ditto, but just put plain milk or water, anything. Well, down, get it, Sister Christie.
I'm down the bottom there,
Where are
hot
you?
chocolate.
We've been
Oh.
3 hours already.
You want hot
Just had
chocolate?
three.
You
Plain
want
milk,
Coke?
plain milk, you know, anything except Coke. Anything to keep me awake, Coke, coffee, anything.
You want milk then?
It's easy,
You want chocolate milk?
any kind.
I'll ask them.
If we're ready to leave, the, duties of the board, then to article, we moved the article on sections, and we've already changed the articles on meetings, and quorum as an article we deleted because we included them, and I've just made cross-references on page 27, 28, to the standing committees. And, we have changes in the standing committees which go up through, well, really much of the rest of the, up through page, well, there are 10 pages on committees. And, we changed the first section to read, to include that members and associates shall be eligible for election to the committee, except the committee on nomination, which shall be composed of members, and members other than associates shall be chairman of standing. and associates. Rosie, help me out.
That means that only a regular member can be a chairman. May not be worded correctly, but I think that was our thinking.
Full member.
A full member
Full member, associate.
can be a chairman, an associate may be a member.
Maybe the all and the on is backwards down there. Bottom.
I wonder if we said,
We were trying to do it like this.
Miss Lewis, you got the key over there?
I think we were trying to get it this way, that it's right through, standing committees shall assume such duties as specified in these bylaws and such other duties as may be assigned by the board, executive board, or the board of directors. Both members and associates shall be eligible for election to standing committees, except the committee on nominations, which shall be composed of members. Only members shall be chairman of standing committees, and on all standing members, members shall be in the majority, and may,
Oh,
you see.
that's
all
the
I'm trying to get.
duplication and all stuff.
Only members shall be.
Look under your state,
Members
on page
sponsors,
9.
That's where I got
chairman
this.
of standing
Should that
committee.
second standing be special?
All standing committee members shall be in the majority and may be elected for
Oh.
a 2-year term
Oh.
of rotation, you see?
I think I've got it now. Members, comma, other than associates, comma, shall be chairman of standing committees, and on all standing committees, members shall be in the majority and may be elected for 2 years term in rotation. See, members and comma, other than associate, comma. Members, what we're saying is members shall be chairman of standing committees, and on all standing committees, members shall be in the majority and may be elected for 2 years term in rotation.
Yeah, well, why not just change it like Ms. Lewis says, instead of say members other than, just say only
Only
members shall be
members shall be
chairman.
chairman of standing committees.
Only members shall be, it's less, more, a little bit more direct.
Shall be chairman.
And then the rest of it is all.
All right. Is that clarified? And then, we've said that the following standing committees, with the exception of the chairman of the Committee on Nominations, shall be elected by the board. There's no change there. We did just change the order in the titles to bylaws, ethical, legal, and standards. That's been our, we've had one, but it was not spelled out in bylaws, right?
That's right, it's been a
Finance, legislation, membership, nominations, and I had this set up to be national defense, which was recommended, but the new ANA ruling on this is emergency health preparedness and national defense. We may want to get that in its appropriate listing. Programs, public relations and liaison, and registry. And I put registry last for the reason of if there's deletion. Now, we had a recommendation several years ago to have the bylaws had a recommendation to consider a careers committee as being separate, an insurance committee as being separate, economic security and general welfare. And already we have nursing and national defense. Insurance committees we do now have, right?
All of those were special committees from 1960 on until the time that they were considering, and they said carrying them all those years, we shouldn't be carrying special committees at that length of time. We should
Make them-
have them as standing committees if we continue to have them. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's right. So the committee on ethical, legal, and professional standards, of course, would take care of the professional practice. And then the national, if we made a standing committee for emergency health preparedness and national defense. On careers, we included this in the committee, sort of the program is charged as well as membership is charged with, membership was charged specifically with the inactive nursing, recruitment of the inactive nurse, and the careers in the program area, and public relations liaisons was included.
Where does Miss Bell have her liaison? Is Miss Bell on there?
Yes. Very good. L-I-A.
L-I-A-I.
L-I-A-I-S-O-N. And economic security and general welfare and insurance, the committee saw as being really big programs of the state, that aspect of the state in which the sections have carried. The economic and, of course, insurance is a part of economic and general welfare. So we rather than making a standing committee on this, charge this responsibility to the section and to the program. We specifically identified that the program committee would page 34, give considerations to areas of economic security and keep the members informed. Under section 9, the B area.
I think that would be more educational though than actually promoting welfare, don't you think, in the organization?
Well, you're right. However, has been, and I think ANA has accepted that the state should set the program for economic and general welfare for its membership.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of the
Informing.
yes, that on the district's level, it's a matter of information.
I think that's good.
If that's this was committee's thinking, right? Now the board, I brought it out because I think you should know why we did not set up a standing committee on careers insurance. Of course, when these were recommended to the bylaws some years back, we didn't have a standing committee on the state level. So, we then did set up these because on the state level of the national defense, they are really their program is designed to work through the local areas, which does really charges to the district. So for that reason, we did establish it as a standing committee. We already have it, I believe, as a special committee. You said, Carolyn.
Yes.
And then, moving on through committees, unless there's any question about what committees we agreed upon. The committee on bylaws, I don't believe that there are any changes other than further clarification on committee on bylaws, accepting, let's see, did we not include
A
this?
director.
Yes, well, I had one question, yes, the director, one director of the, board shall be the chairman of this committee. Did we not include in our, or have in our old bylaws that, that the committee of state, of district approves the rules for the sections? Yes, yes, it's already included, so that's no change. Then we made a new section, the Committee on Ethical, Legal, and Professional Standards as a standard. And we really took a good bit of this from the state. The chairman shall be one of the directors, and they shall represent the committee on practice of each of the occupational sections. We really patterned this after the state, and we set up these duties: survey periodically the quality and quantity of nursing service within the district, and make recommendations concerning the improvement of nursing service in accordance with this finding to the board of directors. Study and advise upon the ethical, legal, and professional aspects of nursing practices. Coordinate those activities of the Committee on Practice of the section of this association which are designed to implement professional standing. Plan and promote educational program and guides for implementation of principles and standards related to ethical, legal, and professional aspects of nursing practice. Provide continuing guidance to committees on practice of the sections in the 5th District Nurses Association. Receive and take appropriate action with approval of the Board of Directors, complaints and related problems in nursing practice from the profession and the public. One of the criteria of identification, are we a professional, or a profession, states that of course the profession disciplines its own members, and apparently the ANA and the state have saw fit to put some teeth into this area. And I would call to your attention this F we did discuss. I don't believe on the state level they even got board approval, did they? I think the committee did this without board approval. Nonetheless, I would call to your attention the fact that yes, the committee as a committee has the power to receive and take appropriate action. We did include with board approval. So that was something that has some teeth in it probably. Committee on Finance, the changes here was to review registry committee's proposed budget. We included this. In the beginning I told you there's some question about who should draw up the budget for the registry. And we've clarified that the registry committee should propose a budget which the finance committee of GSNA present to the board for approval. That was a change in our bylaws. And let me see, the Committee on Legislation, there's no change. we just have done some, editing. We've left out these, non-specific duties, I should say, and appointed a director as a chairman of this committee. And the title of membership credentials to membership promotion. And we've done a little, more, hopefully, clarification of committee responsibility. This committee shall consider all applications for membership in this association, check credentials, and shall present such application with recommendation to board. Develop plans for retaining and increasing membership. Actually, the present committee does this as membership, but we've spelled out specifically, and also to develop methods and assisting programs to recruit inactive nurses into nursing. So that's a new function of that committee. Then on the committee of nominations, we refer you back to Article 7 for those duties that they do the nomination duties, so to speak.
But one thing, let me go back to your membership, Miss Pope, if I may, on
All right.
Section 7. Am I right in this, on the third sentence where it says the first vice chairman? Don't you want the first vice president?
Yes, that's correct. That's,
In 1 minute, I want
first, page 32, section 7. The first vice president shall serve as chairman. Thank you, Carolyn, that's in there. And then on page 33, we have the new section establishing the new standing committee on emergency health preparedness and national defense. Shall be composed of at least 3 persons. This committee shall implement the GSNA and state civil defense disaster programs, and B, develop liaison relationship with local Red Cross disaster nursing chairman and local civil defense representative with the purpose of joint planning and mobilization in the community. And then the page 34, the committee on programs. We've actually gone over that one already.
Who's Jay?
maybe 2
We added that sections, that item C.
This is Jay, who's
We all need to stick with
No, let's go break.
You got what I think for a minute.
I have a question. Page 33, new section 9.
Oh, well, that's mine.
Can a local committee implement GSA state civil defense? Well, according to the ANA one, that is the function of the district.
Yeah.
To implement the state. Yes, this must be set up on the state level, but there's, district, the implementation takes place in the district. In other words, the Red Cross, the civil defense, we may have a different program here than they have in 13th district. So the state can see this as a responsibility, but they can't do anything about it except share information. It has to be directed on the, according to this new action bulletin from ANA.
I got an extra.
How about yourself?
I got the tab.
Did you all understand? His questioning was how does the district implement GSNA's program? A&A has taken a stand that it should concern itself, its members should concern itself with the emergency or on national defense issues. Miss Overton doesn't have anything.
This is hers.
Oh. Is it KR or something? Huh?
You don't have coffee? I know she did, but I got something for her anyway.
Well, sure, I'm glad she's on the bucket.
We can get dessert.
Well, aren't you? I got one. Would you rather have coffee because it's an extra coffee?
Yeah, I believe I'll just take it all right.
Miss Oakley, she wants coffee and there were 2 chocolates by error.
Oh, was it?
Do you have any?
Yeah, I got all
Everybody
that.
get something?
Here, excuse me. No, Lisa,
Recess and leave.
Thank you.
fall on the fire. Did you get a napkin?
To the store and have
How you like, how you all
Hot
that
fast.
fancy trade?
Thank you.
Everybody got a spoon?
Thank you.
Save their lives.
I was worried about my own.
Well, I'm glad you were.
Here's an extra spoon. Probably ready to, does it meet with your approval to drink coffee and go ahead with the bylaws?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, then that completes, we're to page 33. And I think it's sort of unfair to ask the board to really, take all of this in. I think probably would be to your advantage and to the committees to read them, and if you, in the next 2 or 3 days, and if you have questions, it's not too late to ask them. And maybe suggestions. You see, we're setting up new committees, and I don't know that we've really given them all of their duties that they could very appropriately do. But we haven't had any experience with having these committees before. So now the Committee on Programs we've gone over, we specifically charged them with, and this, of course, already in our bylaws, the second vice president chairs this, that they plan the overall programs and that they give consideration to the areas of economic security and keeping the members informed. Then GSNA spelled out that the program committee should provide to the district current information and so forth. So we thought that this, we'd just tie in our duty here. One of our committee members brought this to, how does the district know this? Then they could seek consultation from the GSNA Committee on Program. We're having a program on a state level, and we have something that can be shared down the line, this type of thing.
It's just a small point, but plan for overall programs for meetings rather than all meetings, since we aren't gonna have them at all meetings unless you want to put program.
Yes, and I think that we did,
I thought one will all, too.
the word all in
Delete.
delete the word all. Plan the overall programs for meetings and present. And then, section 10, we've changed the Committee on Public Relations and included that a member of the Ethical, Legal, and Professional Standards Committee should be a member, and the secretary of the association should be a member. Well, the secretary's already, excuse me. Now, the committee shall promote better understanding by the public of professional nursing, cooperate with groups allied to nursing to maintain good relationships, plan with the program committee to publicize Nurse Week, Nurse Week and any other program that would promote better public understanding of nursing and actively participate in nurse recruitment throughout the district. This is sort of dual with the and then the Committee on Registry. Now, we had on our committee Miss Center, who is very active in the private duty group, and she didn't see any change here. She didn't bring back any that she could think of, excepting over on page 37, we did include clarification who is to make budget for the registry committee, with the proviso, of course, that this committee continue, the Committee on Registry. And we tied this in that also that the Finance Committee reviews the budget and presents it to the board for approval. So there's a correlation there. And then the old present section 12, the Committee on Official Publication. It had been requested that this be deleted. It was felt that these programs were, this function of this was included in other programs or committees. Now, I've sort of pushed you through 10 pages of committee functions or duties and composition. Are there any questions about those? Sections, and in the area of sections, other than some editorial changes, there are no changes in section. I did want to point out to you that, and I think we did have included the economic, to study the general welfare and economic needs of the members and develop desirable standards of employment. This is definitely assigned as a responsibility of the sections. Page 39. Number E.
I was wondering if we could call this something else besides sections or association sections or See, we use sections so much throughout the bylaws, it looks funny all of a sudden to see sections as a topic to me. Maybe this is the way it is up in the state. I know we understand it, and maybe it's nothing we can do about it.
I thought they changed section to commission.
You have
National
sections
level.
on the state level, and the provision was not made in the A&E bylaws for the district, but no provision was made that we discontinue. We may or may not on the district level.
Well, didn't they nationally though make it commissions instead of sections? Or did they?
Nope, the occupational
Forums.
The occupational forums.
Could we call them sections of the association, and, rather than just say
That's
sections?
clarified, Lou.
Yeah.
And then down here in A, say sections of the association may be established. It just looks, like there's still something there, so many sections already.
That's when the secretary left that off button at the top.
And
That's
she
what I
could
was
use
thinking.
it.
Occupational,
Occupational
we call them
numbers.
occupational sections.
That might clarify it.
Well, if you made it forum, that wouldn't do the work you want done, would it?
Forums just talk.
Occupational sections, that sounds good to
It
me.
gives them talk.
All right?
And they use that word, if you look on the G on page 39 in the old, to represent the occupational interest, so they go ahead and clarify why you're calling them occupational sections.
All right? And then, under A,
Bless you.
then probably we should say occupational sections may be established. Should we not? And there will be then a change.
You wanna leave out professional?
Did you leave it out throughout the document or not? The word professional.
No, because this referred only to the code for nurses. Code of nurses, code for nurses. The code itself, they took out, and they made no other changes, did they? No.
And state and A&A didn't make any.
No.
Because they're the ones that have been quibbling about that so much.
Not as I see it, certainly. Then there were no changes in sections. On 41, the fiscal year, no change. The official organs, we deleted the district meter only.
Not gonna have it.
You get enough money?
What are we gonna have, Carolyn? Nothing? No communication?
Word of mouth.
Newsletter?
The good old grapevine.
Huh?
The good old grapevine.
On page 38, there should be a sixth item. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be.
We need some kind of communication. We have meetings.
There's 6.
She
Yeah.
sends out something now.
It sure does.
You send out a newsletter type thing now, don't you?
What do you think about the GS?
Well, you
She
send
does about the programs.
Yeah, and about the
programs.
meetings, what happened, just a summary.
We send a notice about the meetings, but we don't have a newsletter.
Well, but you send a summary of what has
The,
taken place.
The
Or you
directors,
have.
board of directors, and, get minutes.
Oh, you don't send it over? Oh, I beg your pardon.
No, just members of the board of directors. We send out minutes to the different groups, or anybody that wants them for their committees.
We took this out because we hadn't been providing it, and in the bylaws we say we shall. What would happen, Miss Lewis, if next year the members of the board saw that they could do this? Could this be included as in their
I
manual
think that
as a
should be,
policy.
Wouldn't that be in
It'd
the-
be a
usually-
policy that you would have some type of, membership
Newsletter.
newsletter or something.
Rather than the board.
Which
When the
would
money,
be-
when the money was available,
Uh-huh.
then that wouldn't change bylaws.
Yeah.
Very good.
Then the parliamentary authority, we changed the wording on that.
Not much.
Just revise.
Do we need to say where they are applicable if we're going to say if they're not
Revise.
inconsistent with the bylaws? Because what else do we do if they aren't applicable, not inconsistent with the bylaws, what do we go by then? I don't think we need the word applicable in there if we're going to say,
Wait a minute, I'm gonna read you something.
okay.
We took this out of Robert's
I'll find out from here. I think I can turn right to it, and it'll always turn right
rules. Page 268.
268, I thought I knew it was 2 something. Every society in its bylaws or rules of order should adopt a rule like this. The rules contained in specifying the work on parliamentary practice shall govern the society in all cases to which they are applicable and in which they are not inconsistent with the bylaws or the special rules. Without such a rule, anyone so disposed can cause great trouble in a meeting.
But I was thinking if the rules weren't applicable and they weren't inconsistent with the bylaws, what do we go by then? We might say, well, it's not applicable to use Robert's rule.
Well, that's
That's
the
not it.
reason, well, that's what he come back. You don't put something in there, well, then somebody can come up and say, well, now, wait just a minute, we don't go by that right here.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and then that's when you get tied in knots.
If we don't have anything in bylaws to direct us, then we go to, if applicable, to
Robert, one of the
Robert, you see.
one of the
and
others.
as long as it isn't inconsistent with rules.
Uh-huh.
I just interpreted that way, that's fine.
In other words, you have one thing that's very inconsistent with your parliamentary authority, that a plurality of votes will elect. And Robert says a plurality of votes never elected to anything unless there is a special rule. Well, you have the special rule, you see,
Saying, I see.
which takes
And then the amendments, page 42, we changed to read, that the bylaws may be amended at any annual or business meeting for the clarification from the program meetings by 2/3 vote of the members present and voted, provided a 2 weeks notice has been given, so that really is no change. And these bylaws may be amended at any annual meeting without previous notice by 99% vote of the members vote present and voting.
Now, you notice in that one, we just put the annual, just to keep somebody from jumping up at every meeting and trying to change something with that vote.
And then this,
I mean, you may
this
not agree.
bit, of section 3, 6 copies of all proposed bylaws.
No.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, we referred that back to our bylaws committee, that this is their function to direct 6 copies, so it doesn't come in really truly in the amendment area.
Now, Ms. Lewis, once before we had a big to-do about, this 2 weeks' notice, whether they should have the bylaws in their hands or not for this notice. Remember, Ms. Garland?
Context.
Did we ever forget it? Will we ever forget it?
The lawyer told us on that one that we ought to specify that.
I don't know that.
Whether
Provided-
the 2 weeks' notice has been given.
Well, that's right.
All right, you want to say, provided 2 weeks' notice has been given to each member?
No, that isn't the point.
The
The
all
point was
I
that the
think
members
what she's
didn't
saying-
have the revision of the bylaws. See,
The
all they knew
proposed.
was that the bylaws might be changed, and when they got there, the provisions were given and they had no time for forethought or
Well,
study.
now, to say that 2 weeks' notice is given, then they have this to look at for 2 weeks.
Well, that's
Now,
what
see,
she's
that
talking
was the
about.
problem, they
Whether or
didn't
not
have
the
it.
context of proposed changes
Yes.
ought to be forwarded
Yes,
to
this
them.
is
They
it.
didn't
Is
have
that
it.
the
This is
notice?
it.
Does that constitute the notice, or just the
That-
notice you're going to do it?
No, just telling me you're gonna do it doesn't mean a thing in the world.
That's
Well,
all.
that's the word he
There's
wants us to
there's
get
no
clear.
point to that. The whole thing is that
That
you have to see what
notice
it is.
unless
Right.
you print it in its entirety.
Yeah, that's
Is that
right. You've got to
I
have what is
don't know
being
that-
changed.
Would that be implied, Miss Lewis, or not? Because it wasn't understood,
This
and
goes
people
back
aren't that
to your
well.
authority.
'Cause it,
Now, if you don't have a parliamentarian that knows this book, or if you can't find it,
Mhm.
you're in trouble. But this is where you keep from putting too much in this, because this has it in it.
So we shouldn't have to put here 2 weeks' notice, the proposed revisions would be in writing to membership or anything? How are they gonna get these? We mail them out?
Sure, if you give notice, you've got to give it to them, since you don't have a newsletter or something.
Well, that means we gotta mail everybody in the membership one of these great big,
Yes, but we'll have it on back and front page, and I think we're gonna hope to be able to combine
We
it
can-
and send it with the directory and save postage at the same time.
We
But I don't
can
think we're gonna get a
condense
director
this
till
somewhat.
August.
We can condense this somewhat. We can cut down on the pages of this before, once it comes back from state. I guess, is it still our responsibility to help get the final ones in order for going to the membership of the board?
Yes, it goes back to her, doesn't it? Are you going to get these to her, or do you want me to send them to her? Now, I mean, in other words, we've got to do this by the 15th.
Yeah.
The
I
6
will-
copies.
Yes, I'll get with you, Carolyn, and we'll get these to her. Once the board does what they wish to, gives us direction, I'll assume some responsibility with you to get them together. And I think if each board member would sort of screen them further and raise any question, it's going to take you and I a couple of days to get together, Carolyn, tomorrow or next day. If they would raise any questions or help us pick any more errors up, typographical.
Does membership vote on these now at the annual meeting in September? I don't guess it's too practical, but I'm thinking about the cost of mailing this to the entire membership. Is there any way that they could pick them up at a call meeting or?
You know what they're gonna say, Miss, or sister?
What?
We pay $43.50 membership dues. We ought to be able to get them to review.
I
And they got
agree.
a point.
I agree with it.